Hail this land of glory. We the Ambazonia, special loyalty. Praise to our Savior who granted us the freedom. And legends to the hero who called the lonely gather. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in a nation, flowing rivers and holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meet in our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meet in our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation.
Fellow countrymen and women, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night, wherever you are, whether on ground 1, ground 0, or in other parts of the diaspora. All money place day. Shake, shake, chang. I am your humble servant, Dr. Julius Nyi, the Vice President of the Ambazonian Governing Council. I wish to take this opportunity first to congratulate our valiant civilians, our valiant forces, our valiant media warriors, our valiant legal minds, our valiant diplomatic teams, and all of you who have stood your ground for the last 9 years against a war declared by Cameroun. You have rewritten the books of resistance. You have shown the enemy that despite all the support it gets from the international community, despite preparing to annihilate you, the Ambazonian people, for the last 60 years, when they thought you were dead and buried, you rose like one man and challenged your authority, their authority. You rose as one man and shattered the invincibility of their so-called beers. I hear the beers in the southern zone are refusing to be deployed. Those in the northern zone had refused long time ago. And in the coming weeks and months, Ambazonia will be a bigger graveyard for them. I wish to thank especially our civilian population, armless mothers and girls, armless children and fathers, who have civil manner disobeyed, shown the enemy who controls the land, shows the enemy as a collective who Ambazonia belongs to. I thank all of you for the ghost towns that you have observed in the last week are tantamount to your resolve, to your dedication, and to your uncompromising stance against La République du Cameroun in Ambazonia. A liberation struggle is not a walk in the park, as Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba told you people. A liberation struggle is something that you don't only dream and it appears. You fight, you win, you lose some battles, but you win the liberation. And that is the price we are paying. In Ambazonia today, we walk on the blood of our littered comrades. We sleep and dream of our jailed comrades. We look and see despair in the eyes of our civilian population caused by the colonial regime. And we say to the colonial regime, once and for all, your educational system that has made us to be beggars, that when you graduate, you become either a corrupt individual or you are sent to the dustbins of knowledge. A colonial election system that has perpetrated tyranny. Remember, as I told you people, Dr. Cho told you people, the first time you voted in 1961, you gave your country away. In the last 9 years, Ambazonia has not participated in any colonial elections. That is going to be same this year and the years to come until Ambazonia is free. In the last 9 years, Ambazonia has sent a chilling message to Cameroun that until freedom comes, we will stay at home as a symbol of resistance, but also as a symbol to honor the fallen. And since last week, all Ambazonians have stayed at home as a symbol of this resistance, as a symbol to tell Cameroun that we don't regard your educational system as fit for purpose, to also tell those enablers, the elites, and those traitors within us who keep running to the occupier that the Ambazonian people own their land and that we are not going to succumb to your machinations of a forced return to normalcy. I thank all of you who have observed the ghost town, who would continue to observe the ghost town next week for another 5 days before a 2 days break, that your missus is selling a chill down the spine of the ruling class, the ruling junta in Yaoundé. In history, civil disobedience has been the single most important tool that has continuously reminded those who oppress others that the oppressed is capable of standing up for their rights. And I thank all of you Ambazonian people. The international community is of note. The Ambazonian Governing Council has been reached both by the international community and even by Cameroon itself concerning your resolve to be free. When I was reached by Cameroon, I told them, come to the negotiation table. Ambazonia, through the consortium, and even prior to the consortium, through the AAC1, AAC2 in the 90s, had called Cameroon to come to the negotiation table. We are calling on Cameroon to come to the negotiation table. We will call on Cameroon to come to the negotiation table. And the form of the state is up for discussion. That is all we are going to discuss on the table. Anything short of that, we have the time on our side, we have the know-how, we have the strategies, and we will kick you out of Ambazonia. If the almighty America was kicked out of Afghanistan and Iraq less of a week unable to fund itself Cameroun, we will kick you out of Ambazonia in the shortest time. You understand how we have increased the cost of occupation. You understand how we have instituted ungovernability for the last 9 years, and that all your schemes of reconstruction, bilingualism commission, national dialogue, a special status, the DDR centers, all those schemes have fallen flat on your face because the Ambazonian people they are pursuing nothing else than total freedom. Fellow countrymen and women, remember that you had been free. You were the first democratic country in the entire Africa in the mid-50s to the early 60s, whereby you had democratic elections and there was peaceful transition of power, not once, but twice. That is the record that you took to a failed marriage or a failed camel stay, as some would call it, with La République du Cameroun. You are capable of defending. You are capable of withstanding the attrition of Cameroun. You are capable of defeating Cameroun. And let's use this time to tell Cameroun exactly who owns Ambazonia. Let's use this time to tell Cameroun and all the enablers and anyone thinking of campaigning in Ambazonia that Ambazonia is not Cameroun and Ambazonia will never be part of Cameroun. We are not against the citizens of Cameroun. We are against the political junta, the barbaric Betty Boulou military, the barbaric Betty Boulou henchmen in Yaoundé, who continue to perpetrate murder, subjugation, forced disappearances in Ambazonia in order to force what they call the 2 cubes of sugar. We are the Ambazonian people. We are the never again generation. And through our block by block strategies, you have seen how our valiant boys and girls have brought you to your knees in Ambazonia. If anything else, the last week, the last 2 weeks, the last 3 weeks have shown you that, as the adage go, sleep no be die. I urge all of you on ground zero, on ground 1, ground 2, and the diaspora to rehearse, to be prepared, because D-Day will come unannounced. I call all of you on ground zero to put your 2 fingers up and give the enemy a knock by continuously respecting the lockdown. The Ambazonian curriculum of education through the community schools, the Ambazonian curriculum of education upon liberation will be one that would empower you, imbue you with confidence, skills, and knowledge that would allow you, Ambazonia, to compete and its citizens in the global economy. That will make you to be an asset rather than the current liability from the educational system that Cameroun has imposed upon us. We will build a democratic system. We have all that plan. We will build a social and economic model that will be the envy of Africa and the world. If countries like Singapore have done it, if a country like Rwanda have done it, talk less of Ambazonia with its ingenuity. We are more than prepared, and I can assure you that all the political movements are talking within themselves and are putting in place good transition plans, good post-independence projects that would catapult Ambazonia from the doldrums that Cameroon has imposed upon us to the light of the Gulf of Guinea, Africa, and the world. I thank you all. Know that there is no revolution without a price. That price is being paid on ground zero. That price is being paid in the diaspora. Some of your leaders have been detained. It's not uncommon, it's not unusual that in liberation struggles, those they term terrorists, those they term violent, are in the near future called freedom fighters. I can also assure you that those that have been arrested, from Dr. Cho to the death chair to PK and the rest, those are the valiant soldiers. They have been prepared. They know what was coming. Your current crop in the Ambazonian Governing Council and other movements are more prepared because we know it's not a walk in the park. Rest assured that the conveyor belt of the leadership of the vanguard movement of this liberation war, the Ambazonian Governing Council, is as long as it could be. Ambazonia is a spirit. Those that lead it are waiting for their turn, should in case anything happens to any leader. This is the never again generation. This is the generation that would bring an end to Cameroon's tyranny. This is a generation that has stood its ground and told Cameroon that your educational system is good for the bin. Your political system has neither brought you progress nor stability. And if you think Cameroon is doomed, its economic balance sheet, its social fabric is shattered. Cameroon has invested more than it can raise in the war, and its social services, its economy is in tatters. Cameroon is unable even to buy weapons. The morale of its soldier is rock bottom. And this is the time for Ambazonia to reign. And Ambazonia will reign because Ambazonia is the land of no return for the Bulus and the Betis, because Ambazonia will remain the bread and butter of the Gulf of Guinea. Hail, hail, land of glory.
Glory, we the Ambazonia, special loyalty. Praise the soul of Savior who granted us the freedom. And let the soul the hero for all the Lord we gather. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in a nation, flowing with earth and holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meet in our need, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meet in our need, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God being the watchman of this nation. the Ambazonia, pledge our loyalty. Praise the soul of Savior who granted us the freedom. Allegiance to the hero who fought along we gather. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in a nation, flowing rivers and holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty in our need, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty in our need, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation.
Fellow Ambalanders, friends of justice and human rights defender, and members of the international community. At a time of heightened emotions and deliberate attempts to distract our people, the President of the Ambazonian Governing Council and the leader of the Ambazonian War of Liberation, Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, has once again provided clarity, leadership, and direction. Following the arrest of the defense chairman of the Ambazonian Defense Forces, Mr. Benedict Kwa, and the logistic chief, Mr. Pascal Kike, in Minnesota last Friday, Dr. Cho Ayaba addresses our nation and the world with an unwavering reminder. Our only enemy is Cameroun. Neither America nor Norway nor any other nation stands as an oppressor of our people. Cameroun alone bears that guilt. In this message, Dr. Ayaba not only calls on our people to remain united and focused, but also challenges the international community to live up to its moral responsibility, to hold Cameroun accountable for its atrocities in Ambazonia and to compel it to the negotiation table to end this conflict. Now over to you, Mr. President.
My fellow Ambazonians, on Sunday I was notified of the arrest of the defense chief and the logistics chief. I've so far consulted with the vice president, the DDC, and the SG of the ADF. And I'm glad that I was briefed on the steps they have taken to maintain cohesion on the ground and in the organization. I want to assure every Ambazonian that these things happened historically. Jomo Kenyatta was in jail. Mandela was in jail. All the great patriots who fought for liberation have gone through jail. And we will all somehow end up there. But I want to assure Ambazonians that there will be no disruption on the ground and at the political level. The vice president and his team have all, checked in all the boxes and have mastered all the scenarios. People usually ask me why I have not been very critical towards Norway since being arrested. Listen, when we live and operate in other people's country, and even countries that have become our own, we are not only open to the opportunities that those countries present, but we are open to be subjected to the laws of these countries. Am I angry? No. Neither the US nor Norway have invaded Ambazonia. They have not murdered 30,000 Ambazonians, kidnapped and rendition Ambazonians, or even torture and burned entire villages and homes. The US institutions have been the most supportive, from congressional resolutions, presidential decisions on AGAO, TPS, and even defense criticisms as was done by General James Matty. During the tenure of Ambassador Valerie, there were engagements. I spoke with the ambassador. He organized a meeting with Samantha Power and another State Department official. I will never forget when he expressed disappointment directly to me about an attack in Bamenda that knocked down a power line. I was not even aware of the attack. I investigated, reverted back, and assured him that such an action will not happen again. And I think such engagements are very important. Since the appointment of the last ambassador, there has been no engagement. And we looked at every background, and we were definitely very sure there would be a pivot. I have been a social democrat my entire adult life until last week. And I am making this statement to that effect because the Norwegian elections has just ended. We have been the most spineless advocate for values in the last 80 years. We have the most prominent social democrats in power from Berlin through London to Washington when Rwanda happened. What I am sure is that the current foreign policy doctrine of the United States is that of engagement. Despite October 7, 2023, it is engaged with Hamas. Despite 7,000 civilians killed in Goma when M23 moved in, the President of the United States has secured an agreement between Rwanda and the DRC. Despite still being on U.S. terrorism list, President Trump met with current Syrian president. The current strategy emanating from the U.S. Embassy in Yaoundé is neither driven by some commitment to human rights or policy. It is driven by politics, and it is inconsistent with current U.S. policy in dealing with conflicts. And that is why it is my position that a speedy change of ambassador in Yaoundé would be for the interest of the resolution of the conflict between Cameroun and Ambazonia. We are aware that Boko Haram has gained strength in the north of Cameroon, Nigeria, and part of Niger, and on other areas. And what the U.S. cannot afford is a distraction in terms of its policy of engagement, where we immerse politics and emotions and sentiments in the conduction of foreign policy. We have also noticed within Ambazonia that in the state of Ndonga, the enabler, Ngala Gerard, has been recruiting our Muslim population in building militias to fight Ambazonia. We keep our eyes close to those kinds of activities at our own peril, because that is how extremist forces would exploit such situations, to extend their reach into this conflict. As I have said, nothing is going to stop the independence of Ambazonia. When we live in foreign countries, we operate at their mercy. If we have to go to jail because they think we've violated their laws, we will go to jail. But what we know is that the injection of the judiciary as an arm in the resolution of conflict has not worked historically, will not work now. What we need is the international community that puts pressure on Cameroon to commit to genuine negotiations in the resolution of the conflict. It failed with the Swiss, it failed and abandoned the Canadian process, and it has to be forced to engage. The Ambazonian Governing Council has factored in its manifesto a post-conflict justice system that is going to deal with infraction. I was supposed to address the Ambazonian soldiers this week. All Ambazonian soldiers on the ground in the past 8 years have been committed to the protection of civilians and the upholding of international humanitarian law than any force in the last 80 years. And I can congratulate them, because this is the only force in the past 8 years that has killed about 1/4 of Cameroon forces on the ground, and continue to show determination as they did in Fako in fighting the Cameroon's army. If any foreign government was concerned with human rights, it should have been concerned with Ngabo, the commission of more than 150 massacres in Ambazonia, the burning of more than 1,000 villages, the kidnapping and rendition of Ambazonians, the incarceration and torture of thousands in dispersed prisons across Cameroon. It is not about human rights, it's about politics. Ambazonia has been betrayed for long. We have made a conscious decision that we will defend ourselves, we will fight for the defense of the values of democracy, justice, and against fascism that has prevailed in Cameroon from 1960. I have taken the leadership to engage with all countries, including France, and I have congratulated President Macron for the step taken on raveling the historical genocide that was committed by Aijo and his forces against the UPC. I have engaged with every country, the Canadians, the British. I don't believe in conflict with countries that had historical injustice brought to bear on Ambazonia. I believe in engaging with them in finding a solution to the problems of today. We shall look at history in later days. I don't believe in fighting any country. I believe in engaging with those countries. Our principal enemy is the fascist system that has occupied our country, and we will not be distracted. We can be in jail for the next 100 years. We will speak for our people. We will defend our people. We will fight for our people in establishing a country where everyone, boy, girl, old, young, has an opportunity to live life in dignity, including Cameroonians. And as I have advised the Vice President, it must be a policy of the Ambazonian Governing Council to overthrow the fascist system. And he must work with all Cameroonian active civilian forces in the diaspora and in Cameroon to ensure that we have a neighbor that is democratic, entrenched in the rule of law, and can build an economy that creates opportunity for every citizen in their country. I have asked our people to remain firm, to be committed. People have died in jail since 1997. People are still in jail across different prisons in Yaoundé. The only gift we can give our people dead and in jail is the freedom of our country. And every family affected, every person affected must hold their head high wherever they may be, because we have conducted ourselves as a reasonable people, as a people who uphold international values. Hold the line for Ambazonia. God bless you all.
Hail this land of glory, we the Ambazonians, pledge our loyalty. Praise the soul of Savior who granted us the freedom. I left us to the hero who called the lonely gather. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in a nation, flowing with and holy. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty in our need, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty in our need, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation.
My fellow Ambazonian people, I salute you all. This one are correct and sons. Today na Monday, the 15th of September 2025. I come for pass with this strong message because the Bulu terrorists, the La Republique military, they don't come with that you truck them, that you military truck them within the axis of My 17 and Monia. They broke people their house. They loot. They thief people their possession. They thief people their radio. They thief people their television. They thief people their cell phone. They thief people their microwave. They thief people their fridge. Everything where it be valuable, where it be important for house, they carry them, put them inside of their military truck. It never even be enough for them. They arrest what mommy them where they do where they be pregnant. Arrest what sister the way they be pregnant. Arrest small picking them. Even the one the way picking where they breastfeed them. Where woman just born come off hospital, cash down for house, the breastfeed picking. La Republic they carry them, carry everything, carry even picking it in them, carry everything for house, put them inside their military truck. They go with them. Now mass arrest, now illegal arrest, now aggression, now destruction, now crime against humanity. What we go do? This one now alert. Me all man be vigilant. And me what people them prepare for resist this kind of assault, this kind of attack, this kind of aggression. And this is still tantamount to genocide. That is why we are against this evil. And that is why we have to continue to resist this evil in all form and shape. On my place day, may God bless and protect our people. Now just a message.
Some quarter heads for inside the Ambazonian territory, they play with fire. Some quarter heads, they think say they go play with fire and fire no go burn them. Some quarter heads, they think say them to go waka on top fire and fire no go catch their skin, burn them. Some quarter heads, they play with fire and they play with their lives. The Ambazonia Governing Council, it don't get a detailed report of some quarter heads where they don't play the role of a lekam. Now them they go gather what people them. People they not get ID cards. They go gather people them, take people their phone numbers, write people their name them. Say na election registration. Even people who not get ID card, they take their telephone number them. They register them. May they go vote for CPDM. These quarter heads, they play with fire. They work on top fire. They go burn themselves. We send out this audio now for tell these quarter heads and chiefs, make una not play with fire. Make una not try for work on top fire. Poor be a day for Yaoundé. The person we want to talk say we dey represent CPDM. We wanna the things say when they say wanna the fight for ye. It never ever show a face for outside. It never ever show a face for outside. When I never ever hear a voice. Ambazonia they inside war. They don't massacre our people them. Butcher our picking them. They don't kill more than 70,000 Ambazonians. More than 7,000 Ambazonians, the day inside La Republic, their concentration camps or prisons. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of our people them. The day for refugee camps. hundreds of thousands, they be homeless because La Republic don't burn more than 2,000 Ambazonian villages. When what people don't rise up for stand up for their freedom, we not stand for fight, for bring poor Bia back, for can govern a people them. We they fight for their freedom. We not put on our lives at risk. We not be complicit for electoral fraud. We not play with fire. We not play with fire. This message would send them the Ambazonia Governing Council, Ambazonian forces, Ambazonian movements. They don't ban La Republic colonial election for inside our territory. Any person where he get himself or herself involved for anything Cameroon colonial election, you did do so at your own risk. You did play now with fire. You did play with fire. Una stay away from poor beer, a genocidal and occupation games. The international community don't want una. Nagiti Bodo already tell una. Una stay away. Una de play with fire. Because you can't hunt una. Now una will regret. When you play with fire, fire go burn you. My name is Lucas Asso, the spokesperson for Ambazonia Governing Council.